All right, everybody, welcome to Virtual Bourbon. My name is Steve Akley. We're going to have some fun today. We're going to be looking at the impact of limestone water on bourbon. So we went with three very popular high proof bourbons. We've got Wild Turkey Rare Breed, we've got Booker's, and then we've got Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. And we're going to take a look at the impact of the product on that. We actually are using actual limestone water, so I think that's important to note. So a lot of times people will say, could I put tap water in here or bottled water? And I don't know. I think if you're going to cut your bourbon with water, it's probably a good idea to do something like limestone water, because that's what they're going to be using to make the bourbon. So that's the rationale behind using that. So let's go ahead and pour our first one. We'll chat a little bit longer before we get started. I don't know how you want to do this. I mean, there's two approaches here. You can use one glass, put it all in there, taste it. We'll talk about it because we are going to do an official tasting, nosing, and all that. Or you can use two glasses, split it in half, and then once you add that water in there in the second one, you can do a true side by side. You know, once you put the water in, it's no getting it back out. You have to remember. No, that's not too long to remember. And so there's a smaller sample, obviously, if you cut it in half. So that's up to you. That's going to be a personal call for you guys, however you want to do it. I'm gonna. For the record,
what's up first? Rare breed?
I'm splitting mine in two. So
which bourbon are we drinking first?
Oh, yeah, we're going by proof. So the rare breeds first. Rare breed, then Booker's, then Elijah Craig. So we are following the proof. The rare breed is 116.8 proof. So that's the lowest one of the night. That's a pretty low high proof, I guess. I don't know. 116 is pretty good, actually. So we'll leave that there, sit there for just a second. I did use the old limestone branch water. So that's a product that you see at the liquor stores. It's if you go to Kentucky, it's in most of the liquor stores in the bourbon section. If you're in St. Louis or other places, it's spotty. We do have it at some of our stores. It should be at all of them, I think, but not necessarily at all of them. It's just at some of them. But you got that here. It's labeled appropriately. That's the brand if you're looking for it. It does look like that. So Justine put the official label on there. One of the things that I thought about today was the fact that I know that distilleries used to sell limestone water in kind of the glass bottles that they'd sell the product in. And I know two that did it for sure, because I had seen them before. Jack Daniels who did it, and Weller back in the day. So, and I thought, well, I wonder if that's on eBay, because everything's on eBay, right? If it existed, someone's got it for sale on eBay. So I saw the Jack Daniels, and again, what it is, it's not ever in a Jack bottle that you see, but a pretty fancy bottle with a swing top. It's a cool looking bottle. It looks like those for sealed ones that haven't been opened go for about $130. And the Weller ones, and again, this is just water, folks. It's not bourbon. It's not anything that it's water. It's supposedly the same water used to create $400. So if you want a bottle of water, that Weller bottled, $400. Fred's shaking his head. No way. You're gonna invest in one of those, Fred? Fred could get water right now. That they're making Weller with. Just go over there and maybe get one of those empty bottles, Fred, and refill it.
There you go,
Fred. I do think that because bourbon fans are so savvy and they're so into everything that there is about bourbon, I think someone selling that today might actually have something that they could do. And again, not just a bottle of water like in a plastic bottle like you buy in the refrigerator in the gift shop. I'm talking about in a bottle that looks like, like this. They could have Buffalo Trace water. This is the same water we make our bourbon with. If you're gonna cut our bourbon with water, utilize this. We suggest this. I think that they might have a market for that. Again, it's got to be pretty profitable, because again, you're just selling water. I mean, so I don't know, Fred, do you think there's any market for that? Do you think that could be something that they do at some point?
not for $400 a bottle.
No one's paying for that. But if they did, if they did Weller, because Weller's got a lot of SKUs anyway, why not a Weller water? And it's not $400, but it's $30.
It would be. I think it would be marketable.
I think the Weller fans would buy that. I honestly do. I'm not joking about that. I think Weller fans who buy all the other, thing. It's kind of a lot of them try to collect them all. Well, you really can't have them all if you didn't collect the Weller water, right?
Right.
So it seems like if they have, so Fred works for Buffalo Trace. It seems like if they have a employee suggestion box and they give a bonus at the end of the year, Fred, you ought to put that in there.
I'll talk to Harlan.
Just go to the top.
Go straight to the top.
Yeah.
You
there
might
you
have
go.
to get here first.
Yeah. All of a sudden, I see Fred out on social media promoted for a great genius idea of selling Weller water. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's something there. So it's cool. Obviously, old time collectors who are paying $400 for water, crazy to me. Crazy. All right, let's grab our. Depending on how you did it. Again, I did 2, so I'm gonna do the side by side. But we're first going to talk about this just neat, and we're going to do these individually. So we'll go through. We'll nose. We'll taste. We'll share it. And then we're going to put our drop or 2 of water into it. And then we're going to talk about exact same thing, nose, taste. And then we'll say which one we like better. And then we'll get a vote and see which one comes out better. So was it better without the water or with the water? Just for fun. This isn't science. If it was science, we'd all have to be together, have the exact same drop of water in there, all that kind of stuff. This is just for fun, but we do like to have some fun with these. So we're going to do that. So first of all, let's talk on the nose.
Love it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is actually a pretty solid board. These will all be pretty good, I believe. Unless we happen to get
Classic vanilla and caramel.
Yeah. Definitely heavy caramel for sure. Does anybody else get anything on the nose of note?
Now, what are those maple cookies that's got like sugar on top? And I mean, that's what this
Snickerdoodles? No.
Snickerdoodles. That's what I'm getting.
Like Snickerdoodle? Okay.
Hey, Steve, is this the same rare breed we did last week or 2 weeks ago with the fantail bottle versus new bottle?
No, that's Kentucky Spirit. So that's a different product.
right.
Similar approach to the cigar bars, but different product though. So
Yeah, my bad.
that's all right. All right. Let's give this one a taste and see what we got on the taste. Man, that is really good. That's like you certainly get some of that the caramel and oak and kind of right down the middle of the palate. It warms up all the way down then, but it also yields kind of sweet too. That and kind of citrusy for me. So. What are some of the other you folks think here? Let's do the normal thing where we go around the room. Well, let's start with the Robinsons. Taste wise, what else are you guys getting on this one?
I like the spiciness of it. It's balanced, like you said. It hits you kind of mid palate, and then it's just got a nice finish to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it does. Melanie, how you doing? Same. Okay. Casey, what about you?
I think you hit a lot of the notes there, Steve, that I'm getting. I mean, I think it sits perfectly on the tongue and just rolls around your mouth.
Yeah.
It's just almost like you can't swallow it because it just keeps, slipping like mercury around your tongue. But it's like, it's got that citrus note. It's got a lot of caramel and the oak comes through. But I'm not a huge high proof guy. This is, I'd drink the hell out of this.
Yeah. This is outstanding. Fred, what do you think?
Yeah, really smooth going in. There's not a whole lot of finish. It sticks to the back of your tongue and the top of your throat, but it's really well balanced. And you're getting the oak and I got like sugar cookies on the nose at first.
Yeah. This is one of those that you know how good it was after you've been drinking it when you go to stand up, and I think it would just catch up to you. I do. It's one of those. It's like, holy cow, because 116.8. Yeah, you fall off the porch. 116.8 is definitely it's getting up there where
you don't feel that you don't feel the high proof.
Right.
Hey, Steve.
Yes.
Do we know much about Wild Turkey's mash bills? Is this the standard Wild Turkey 101 mash bill, just aged a little different and bottled higher proof? Or
that's what they do. So so they've got.
Do we know about what they age the rare breed to?
No, and I don't think it's.
It's not on there now.
Yeah, I don't have it here. The regular bottle. I was going to look for, but I don't have it. I'm not sure.
Okay, just curious.
Joey, how about you? What are your thoughts as you taste this one?
Well, I'm an outlier because this hit me so hot for some reason. It almost like caught me off guard. It's it's still at the top of my throat. I can still feel it. Got a good Kentucky
Mhm.
hug out of it. So I'm kind of scared for the next two.
Yeah, it only goes up from here. This is
Right.
we're starting easy. We're starting easy at 116.8. Paul, how about you, man? What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, just pretty much what everybody said. Rare breed's a go-to for me, and I love the peppery pop like it has right up front. It's got like that black pepper, and it's not like a high proof heat. It's just that peppery spice that it goes right into that sweet citrus, and yeah, just a well-rounded bourbon.
Yeah. We'll ask one more, and then like I said, we like to kind of split the audience here on these. We'll ask Justine. Justine, what are your thoughts as you taste this one?
Pretty much the same as everybody else. I got a lot of brown sugar on this one.
Mm-hmm.
And I normally like higher fruit stuff, but it's been a few weeks since I've had, I guess, any drinks, because this one hit hot for me. Like I felt it literally all the way down to my stomach.
Okay.
So,
right.
But I don't mind it. I mean, not in a bad way. Like it just, I don't know, seems a lot warmer than the last time I had this, but still good.
You're out of practice a little bit, but yeah.
I am.
Yeah. All right. Let's with that, we'll get the other half of the room as we talk about the tasting notes here. So let's get out our old limestone here, and it does have the eyedropper in there, so you can control that. Just want to put a couple of drops in there. Swirl it up a bit. I'm going to try 2 drops of mine. I don't want too much, especially because I halved mine into the 2 glasses. Swirl that around a little bit. And let's talk about nosing notes on this. See if I don't know. It seems like it dulled it to me. But I'm a proof guy, and I never had one. I never had water, so this glass is good for me because I never do this, and I want to see what the impact is. But it seems, and maybe that's in my mind. What do you guys think? Are you guys getting anything on the nose, or is it less than what we just had?
I think it dulled it incredibly.
You think it what?
It dulled it.
Yeah, that's what I say too.
That was our thought too.
It dulled it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it dulled it, but I'm getting a fruit now that I wasn't getting before, like almost like a plum or something.
Okay.
See,
Really
I thought
opened up.
smelling the citrus a little.
Okay.
Yeah, the citrus or some floral. I'm definitely getting some different nosing notes. The heat might have helped open up some of the sinuses versus the first tasting, but
yeah. What were you saying, Fred? Sorry.
It unlocked the nose. It unlocked the nose. It really opened up the nose.
Okay.
Quite a bit.
As you said, what kind of things are you getting there, Fred?
More citrusy now.
Citrusy. I would say if I'm getting anything, I would say citrus too, which I don't think I said on the nose on the first one. Let me see. Yeah, different. This is
orange and clove.
Yeah. I've got mine split, so as I go back, this is more kind of out of the baking aisle or bakery, and this is more the citrusy. That's going to be good on the taste or not? We're going to have to see in just a second here, but interesting. Definitely made a difference. All right, let's give it a try. See what we got.
It still has heat for me. It's not like it watered down the heat.
Mm-hmm.
Still mid-tongue.
Yeah.
Much more spicy.
Spicy.
Much more, yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Really hugs the back of the top of the throat, back of the mouth.
Yeah. Wonder what the
Yeah, but I
science
think
is
it
there.
kind of dulls the finish a little bit though.
It seems to dull the finish, but there is this. It is spicier, which is weird. I wouldn't think that the water would do that at all. Actually.
Yeah, mine went from heat at the back of my tongue to heat at the top of my mouth and kind of invading my sinuses. So that peppery note really pops a little harder.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. Sally, what are your thoughts on the taste on this one? With the one we're talking, of course, is the one with the water introduced.
With the water, I think that the pepper and the clove is much more pronounced for me than the first one. And it seems to have lost some of its cohesiveness, like maybe the viscosity of just the chemical reaction of the alcohol and the water.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Brad? What are your thoughts as you taste this one?
It definitely calmed down the heat a little bit. So I got alcohol on the without water, but I got a big burnt orange and spice on the first one. A few drops of water toned it down a little bit, but it was still citrus, burnt orange. Little calmer.
Yeah. Yeah. The burnt
Do we
orange
have
is
any idea how much this proofed it down? Like, is it like 110 now?
Now you were expecting someone to get it here. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't.
I'm just
Theory.
wondering.
Steve
Small
Akley,
quantity.
tasting.
Get your hydrometer out, Steve.
Yes, yes.
It
I should have
is
went over to Stumpy's.
116.7 now.
I should
I'm
have.
not trying to be difficult. I'm just curious.
No, it's a really good question. But
Yeah.
how many drops did you add, hon?
2.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's what
It's-
I added to.
So
two
my
drops.
understanding of the water is it gets in there and gets in between the alcohol molecules and really just kind of helps change the profile more than anything else from what it was a minute ago to what it is now. I mean, that's
Yeah, that's
my
what you're stating is what would just commonly referred to as it helps open it up a little bit. So
right.
Yeah, the people say add water, it'll open it up. So yeah. What, Scott? What are your thoughts on the taste on this second one?
So I mean, I love rare breed, Steve. It's one of my good go-tos. In the summer, I will drop an ice cube in there, so I'm not unused to watering it down, if you will. It's good. It is. I do get some of that pepper that Casey was talking about, a lot more on the after a few drops of water.
Yes.
It's good. It's definitely, it's one of my go-tos, and it's solid with or without in my world. I did warm up with a glass of 100 proof. So.
Okay. All right. Kathy, how about you?
I'm gonna say that I feel like it is spicier, and the citrus was stronger on the nose, I think, on the second time. But it didn't lose, like I expected it to be less warm, and it's still nice and warm all the way down.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's ask Mr. Bill, and then we're going to take this thing to vote. So, Mr. Bill, what are your thoughts taste-wise here?
The old-fashioned black licorice that wasn't very sweet.
Yeah.
I'm getting just a little bit of that in like the background.
Okay. Is that a good thing or a bad thing, as I once asked?
I don't mind it.
Okay.
I mean, it's not really one of my go-tos, but I'm fine with it.
Okay, a pleasant addition. All right. We're going to go to a vote in just a second here. Let's go ahead and pour our Booker's is next. So Booker's is next. Let's pour that and just have that sit here. Give you guys just a second here. We'll do a side by side. You're just going to be picking which is your favorite out of our first one in just a minute here. I don't know if you've done two or you've done one. You want to think about it? I do get to vote this time because it's not a blind tasting. I have no more knowledge about any of this stuff than you guys do. Okay. Interesting. All right.
All right, I just did some math. If anybody's curious, I figured
please.
out. I googled how many ounces are in a drop of water, and it's 0.0022.
Okay.
So I did 2 drops, so that's 0.0044, and I found a calculator on Whiskey Advocate. So adding 2 drops to, I'm assuming these were 2-ounce sample bottles, right?
No, they're 1 ounce sample bottles.
Oh, they're 1 ounce sample
Right,
bottles, so we'll
right.
cut that in half because I said I did 1 ounce, 2 drops in 1 ounce. So if it did 2 drops in half, so 2 drops in a 1 ounce sample, lowered it from 116.8 to 115.5. So if you half that, so it lowered it 1.3. So it would only lower it like 0.65 proof.
0.6.
That's exactly what I was thinking too.
So it'd be.
But I
with
think
2
I forgot
drops-
to carry the 0.
Hey, Paul and Steve, a little off topic, but yesterday I was at Boone County. That's Dave Wells in the background in our picture there.
Uh-huh.
We're doing a couple barrel picks there, and he's mentioning a new RTD product.
Okay.
And the store guy I was with said, no, you need to go 20%. You know, don't do the 8%, 6%. You know, you need to break the market, do something different. Then we're like, well, what's the regular proof in a cocktail? And no one knew. So we started Googling, you know, average cocktail, you know,
Okay.
and all that. There's a lot more that goes into it. Paul, thanks for doing the math, but and the ready to drink cocktails, which I'm not a fan of because they're all too sweet.
Right.
Chip was suggesting they do something that is actually ready to drink, you know, versus
20 sounds high though. Gosh darn. If you think about those beers, you ever drink you know, the really high ABV beers and
right. So that was our point. It's like, all right, so
Right.
because I remember, you know, a glass of wine is supposed to be the same as a cocktail, it's supposed to be
Right.
the same as about a 6% beer.
that's what they always taught you in school. They actually taught us that in school. I
Right.
don't know why, but yeah, you're
But I know when I make my cocktail.
Always know.
yeah, so we
I
know, I
mean,
guess.
it depends. As a former bartender, I would say that in a lot of cocktails, you have a mixture of half cordials and half mixer, whether that's sweet and sour or whatever. So that's
Right.
going to lower your effective ABV down to about 20 because your cordials are going to come in about 40, 45%. So, I mean,
No, and that's a good point.
But is a cocktail 12 ounces? Because that's what your
Oh,
beer is
well.
going to be. That's what
Okay,
your
well.
that's what your ready to drink cocktail is going to be, right? About 12 ounces.
That is true. You aren't going to serve somebody a 12-ounce cocktail unless you work at a tiki bar, you know, and
Right.
give them those giant glass things with a shark in them and 17
Yeah.
umbrellas.
Well,
So that's where the math has to. There's several factors that weigh in there, but back to Brad's point is, you know, when they told us that, you know, a whiskey was 1.5 ounces. And 80 proof of 1.5 ounces is the same as beer at 5% and wine at whatever. I don't even know wine anything about it, but whatever wine, whatever glass of wine is all it's supposed to be generally about the same. And I would assume cocktails, I don't know, they're probably all over the board.
Cocktails are usually probably only about 4 to 6 ounces tops,
right,
in a standard drink.
Yeah.
Like I
I
said,
mean,
unless you have
just
a stunt drink.
like you ever drink 3 of those high ABV, like 18.5, 20% ABV beers, 3 of those.
Yeah.
That's good. That's about all you want in the night.
That's an afternoon.
You don't want to drink a 6-pack of that. Yeah. That's what Fred Noe famously, when they did Bourbon County Stout the first time, he thought, you know, this is a beer. And what is this? It's 17.5, you know. And
Yeah, one bottle of that is a whole evening.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So he learned. He got lit on that and learned. So it happens. But
That's a good story.
yeah. All right. Well, it's time to vote on this one, and I think we're gonna have 3 categories here. We're gonna have do you like the barrel strength? Did you like the addition of water, or do you think it's basically the same? No real difference. So I'll start. We're going to start with Paul on my screen in the bottom right-hand corner. Paul, which one was your favorite? You like the barrel or the water? You think there's really no difference there? Add that water.
I think there's very little difference. I think they're both good, but if I was forced to pick, I would pick just the barrel strength because the mouthfeel I think is much better on that. The water kind of affected the mouthfeel a little bit, and so I'd lean just with the no dilution barrel proof.
All right. Joey, how about you?
I actually liked it with the water. I think it toned it down, so it made it not so complex. It made it just a little easier. You didn't have to work so hard for it.
Okay. All right. Next up on my screen is Neil.
I like the barrel strength. The barrel strength without the water. I just feel like the water just kind of dulled everything, maybe except for the spice in the middle, but it dulled the finish, it dulled the nose. So I mean, I like the barrel.
Barrel. Okay. Melanie?
I like the barrel, and Paul, you had a good point about the mouthfeel. I just now tasted it again after you said that, and it definitely changes the mouthfeel. I feel like the barrel strength has the better mouthfeel of the two.
Yeah.
All right, Casey, how about you?
Yeah, I agree with Paula and Melanie about the mouthfeel. That was the first thing that struck me. I liked the straight up, no water. And because the water also changed where the heat was for me, and I don't like it when it's like in my sinuses.
Right.
That turns me off to the high proof stuff. So definitely
Okay.
a no water guy.
All right, barrel. All right. How about you, Fred?
They were close, and the water did take away some of the mouthfeel, but I kind of like the flavor and the spiciness of it with the water a little
Okay.
better. So I'm going to
All
go
right.
with the water.
Water. Okay. All right. Next up on my screen is Brad.
Brad says foolproof.
Okay. All right. Then
Sally.
Sally.
Foolproof.
Okay. All right. Then Randy.
Yeah, I like the rare breed barrel strength. I think the water took the edge of it off, so I prefer the full strength.
Okay. Kathy.
I too like the full strength a little bit better.
Okay. Scott.
I actually enjoyed the little extra flavors I got out of the with water, Steve.
With water. Okay. All right. Next up is Mr. Bill.
I'm kind of with Fred a bit. I did like, I noticed that the water did take away from the mouthfeel, but it also opened up some of the flavors that I wouldn't get on the full strength, on the barrel
Okay.
proof.
Gonna go with the water. All right. And last but not least, Justine.
I liked both, but I like the barrel proof better.
Okay. Barrel. And I'm gonna also vote barrel. So and to me, like several already mentioned, was the mouthfeel. I liked it better with no water introduction. So all right. Let's grab our samples for Booker's. All right. And this one comes in at 124 proof. 124. So again, we're going to be starting talking without the introduction of water. We're going to talk about that first. So let's pick up that. And what do we think here on this one?
On the label, we've got shiny barrel batch, but what year and issue is it?
I mean,
We are going to
Oh,
ask
no, I'm
the
sorry.
easy questions.
I think
Only
it's,
easy questions.
I think that's 2019, but I don't know what number it is.
Oh, that's fine. But
3?
it's from a couple of years ago. That's fine.
It is. It's a little bit of an older one. Yeah. Yeah. It's out of the archives here at the ABV Network headquarters.
It just didn't sound familiar.
Yeah. It's been a little while.
I feel like I'm getting banana bread.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah?
I do too. Yeah.
Less of a nose than the previous sample. Yeah,
Mhm.
not much of a nose, but I'm getting a little bit of leather on the nose.
Little leather. Okay. Yeah.
It looks like this was number 2 from
Number 2.
2019.
Yeah. Okay. Number 2. I said 3. Okay. And of course, Shiny Barrel named after Booker. When he would go into the warehouse, he knew what the best barrels were because he would see their shiny, literally from the bellies or the shirts of the people that were in there thieving it, the warehouse workers thieving that barrel. That would, of course, knock the dust off there. And he said the shiny barrels are the good ones because that's the one that the crew is drinking. So that's where it gets its name. Yeah, there's a little citrus on this one on the nose too, kind of more lemony. Citrus. All right, let's taste it. See where this falls now.
You were kind of up to like 19 to 20 or 21, I think, for a little while. So
Who's that?
yeah.
I don't see anybody on here that
Yeah.
that is. Who is that? Where's that
Fred.
coming from?
Good
Oh,
to see
Fred.
you, Ed.
Oh, gotcha.
Did you need me, Dave?
We have to, sorry, Fred, I muted you there. We'll have you come back on in a second. Had to mute you, sorry. Taste wise on this one, what are we getting on taste on this one? There's a lot going on there. Kind of, I'd say because there's multiple flavors, kind of almost like a spice cake, which by nature has multiple flavors to it. I would say that's kind of what I'm getting.
Get a spicy banana nut bread.
Yeah, something like that. It's really good. And
Yeah.
there's just a lot of flavors. There is that kind of peppery taste. There's a spice that definitely kind of lingers and kind of almost pulsates. It kind of comes and goes, stays with you for a while. Finish is, I don't know, perfection for me on this one. I think it's really, really good. Warm, smooth and warm. It's just very.
I really like the finish on this.
Yeah.
Much easier, higher proof, but much easier to take in than the last one to me. It's so smooth. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. This one is really a star. As good as, and I like rare breed. That's, like I said, a kind of a go-to, especially for the prices, but this is really good. All right.
Cinnamon.
Really well balanced also, like the last one. And and that spice, it just stays there on the top of your tongue. And then it moves to the front of the tongue and just stays up there.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. It is kind of a wave thing. Casey, how about you? What are your thoughts on the taste on this one?
I thought spicy banana nut bread really summed it up for me. Because it does have all, it's got like the caramel and the vanilla and the banana and the baking spices, and it all kind of keeps swirling around. Everybody gets to go to the front of the tongue for a second, and then again, and then again. So nice long finish. Yeah, it's very tasty.
Okay. All right. Melanie, how about you? What taste are you getting off of this one?
The spicy banana nut bread. I found it spicy mid palate, and Fred mentioned leather, and I can detect just a hint of the leather, I think.
Yeah.
The other flavors.
Yeah. I am getting what Fred says too, where you kind of drink it and it kind of hits you mid tongue, but then kind of moves forward a little bit. Interesting. Neil, how about you? Taste wise?
Pretty much what everybody said, but I get just a hint of like lemon zest.
Lemon zest. Okay. Yeah, I got that on the nose. I didn't catch it tasting it, but it's probably
it's there. It's just
because there was a lot going on. Very
lot going on. Yeah.
This is why I love bourbon, is something like this, with that layering of flavors. I just don't get that with the other whiskey styles. I don't get that with Scotch. I don't get that with Irish whiskey and others. So it's just, for me, this is what bourbon's all about. All right.
Sometimes the Booker's has that strong bean taste, and this doesn't have that.
Yeah, I like the way it kind of, it's real spicy at first on your tongue, and then it kind of finishes kind of a buttery feeling on your tongue.
Yeah. Yeah. Sally, what do you think about this one?
Talking about the water yet or no?
No, not the water yet. We're just talking about the regular one. Taste of the regular one.
That was powerful.
Powerful. Okay.
that one knocked me off my feet there.
Well, it's only going to get, we're going to go one more level. We're going to be like, take it to 11. Yeah.
I think it may have anesthetized my taste buds before I could.
I should have thrown one that's 80
Come up
proof
with
in there.
a
We do that last. It would be just like drinking water. We just chug it. Yeah. Well, that would happen. All right, Brad, how about you? Taste wise on this one?
I'm normally a proof guy, and so I like it.
Okay.
I don't want to skip ahead, but I tasted the water.
Whoa.
I'm not going to skip ahead. Well,
that's okay.
We're prepared. We have two glasses.
Yeah, it's good. And you only, that's only suggested you stay with the group. You can do whatever you want. It's your tasting, right? It's your tasting. You control how you do it. So
also poured them 4 hours ago because I didn't know how long you had them open.
right, Randy, how about you, man? What are your thoughts on the taste of this one?
Yeah, there's a lot of flavors there. I agree with you, Steve. I think this is what bourbon's about, when you can taste all those different flavors.
Yeah.
Certainly the spice is predominant, maybe getting a hint of cinnamon.
Yeah. Yeah. Cinnamon's definitely there. I agree.
Good call.
Last one we'll do before we go to the with water, introduction of water. Let's ask Joey here. Let's check in with Joey. Joey, what's going on there?
Oh, well, I kind of weighed in earlier that I think it was, to me, it went down a lot easier than the first one, and it's a
Mhm.
higher proof. And I do think it's almost perfection. I love this one.
Okay. Any flavor notes or anything like that specific that stand out, or?
No, I kind of agree with what everyone's saying. And I'm like, yep, I got cinnamon, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit
Okay.
of this, a little bit of that. Yeah.
Okay. All
I
right.
didn't get any circus peanuts yet, though. I'm holding out for the circus peanuts.
Circus peanuts, yes. We're working on that wheel. I actually started looking at that. I'm like, what are our normal things? There's going to be a chewing gum section for sure. And then there'll be another candy section, which will have things like, and I think banana will have its own section, because you've got like circus peanut bananas, you got bananas, the fruit, you got
Banana bread, spiced banana bread.
Laffy Taffy banana, as people have said. So yeah, there's a lot of different banana subtleties. So yeah. And it's going to be our unique wheel, and I think people will make fun of it and think we're idiots, but that's okay. We're fine. We know what we like. So
I
yeah.
think that would be the most accurate wheel yet, if you would do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, let's add our water to our second one here. Based on Paul's numbers I'm adding 3 drops this time, because Paul said
Yeah, so at this proof, I put it in the calculator. At this proof, every drop lowers about half a proof, half a point.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And I split the glasses, so I'm probably like 1 point per drop, I would guess. So I can double that again.
Yeah, we're not.
Okay.
We weren't even on our split.
Oh, okay, yeah, half ounce samples versus full
Right,
ounce samples.
right, correct. Yes, going into 2. Yeah, I split my bottle in half. So, yep. What do we think? That's why, and this is why I did it, because I want to go back. Yeah. To me, very much dulled it on the nose. Not much there, and I've still got my first one sample here.
That's better.
That one's loaded. It doesn't mean it's necessarily better tasting. We're going to try that out in just a second here, but I think on the nose, it took away most of the nose.
There's almost a chalkiness to it now.
Yeah, chalky. Yeah.
Yeah, it went from banana bread to like a shortbread.
Okay. Yeah, shortbread. Yeah.
Kind of a general doughy, yeah.
With the water, on the nose, I get the normal peanut nose. That you
More
get
like the
from
beam profile that people
beam
say.
profile, yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
They used peanuts.
They
All
do
right.
keep the mash bill a secret.
All right, let's try this. Still very good on the taste.
The second time where the water has moved the heat.
Yeah.
For me.
I don't get as much on my tongue this time. Took a lot of it away.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't get the spice type of heat, but but the proof type of heat, I do feel like the Casey said, did ratchet up a little bit. It feels a little bit hotter.
To me, it kind of pushed it up to the front of my tongue.
Front of the tongue, yeah. Whereas that's where it wasn't hitting before. It kind of moved that way, but that's not where it started. So that's.
I'd say that whole banana spice cake is all muddy now. It's not as, you know, the flavors are all intermixed. Can't pick them out.
Yeah. There's the stuff we just talked about. We loved all the different layering of flavors. It's like those layers have now been mixed together. And yeah, interesting.
No finish now either. I mean, not much of one.
Right. Yeah.
Like the banana bread got slathered with butter.
Yeah.
There's no finish, but it's lingering in the front of the mouth. I mean, that's not a nice condition, so it's just sticking there.
Interesting. All right. The first one I was a little torn on. This one, not as much. We're voting just a second here. We do want to pour because we always like letting everything sit for just a little bit. So we don't like just jumping right in. So let's go ahead and pour our last one, which is our Elijah Craig at 132.8. Let's pour that and let that sit for just a second while we go through and we'll do our voting. Okay. Okay. I ended with you, Justine, so I'm going to start with you this time. What did you like better? Did you like the barrel strength or the water addition one better?
Barrel strength.
Barrel strength. All right. And I'm just going to go kind of opposite I did last time. So that means, Mr. Billy, you're going to be next.
I like the barrel strength on this one.
Barrel strength. Okay. All right. All right. Scott, how about you?
I'll go barrel strength, Steve.
Okay. All right. Kathy.
Yeah, sticking with the barrel strength.
Barrel strength. All right. Randy.
Didn't notice a lot of difference, but a bit more predominant on the barrel strength.
Okay. Barrel strength. All right. Sally.
Water.
Water. Okay. Brad.
Water.
Water. Okay. Fred.
No contest, barrel proof.
Barrel. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. Casey.
Barrel strength more so than the last time.
Yeah. Melanie.
Barrel.
Barrel. Okay. Neil.
Same here. Yep.
Barrel. Okay. Joey.
Barrel.
Barrel. And Paul.
Yeah, I agree. This wasn't that close for me. I'd go barrel.
Barrel. Yep. And I did too. I'm going barrel as well. That means barrel wins that round. It's won both rounds so far, but we'll see how this last round goes just for fun. All right. Next up.
Technically in the Mitchell household, the water won.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes. It had a stronghold in the Mitchell household. It was, yeah, by unanimous decision there. So,
Right.
all right. We talked about the high proof of the last one. Well, now we're going to really kick it up. We've crept into the 130. So we're 132.8. So for those that say they love proof, we're there. We're there. All
Burn me
right.
out.
Casey says he's not a proof guy. So this
I'm
will
not a
be
proof guy. I'm a 90 guy.
90. Okay. You may want to add 52 drops of water.
I'll just go half and
Paul,
half.
Paul just did the calculation, and yes.
I know this one all too well, and it's a good one. So
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
which one is it? It's C920. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've got some Elijah Craig stories.
Oh,
Not
wow.
for Carrie.
Maybe that's after we get done recording.
Yeah.
You don't
That's
want that out
more
there.
of a
You don't want that out there
Friday
forever.
Kind of.
Oh, first
No
Friday
one
thing.
has an electronic handy kind of story.
Well, I do. I've got all kinds of electronic stuff down there. I'm recording for shows. That'll be half my content. Just sitting next to Scott. I'll have a month worth of shows. I'll leave first Friday and I'll be set for the month of September. It'll be great.
So we also had a possible error here in that we were doing Glencairns and tulips.
Okay.
And we just switched this last one to both Glencairns. And it's different. The tulip
It is
glass
different.
different than Glencairn. So
Yeah. I did mine. I got three different glasses, but they're all the same at least. Because I did mine in pairs, so I've got all of them. Or the pairs are the same. So
oh yeah, we were just keeping. I was like, oh yeah, we'll do water and tulips and need and whatever.
We did the same thing.
okay, interesting. Nose on this one.
It is crazy how different they are.
Really?
What are your thoughts on the nose on this one?
Almost a leather.
Leather nose. Okay. Okay.
I'm getting some kind of Christmas pudding kind of.
Christmas pudding. Now, you're getting closer to what I was thinking. I was thinking like malted milk balls, kind of.
Kind of a milk chocolate kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely candy like. It's good.
Getting some chocolate, definitely. Yeah.
Chocolate. Yeah.
I'm getting like a Fig Newton.
Fig Newton. Okay.
Getting like ripe fruit, like maybe apples or pears or something like that.
Now this is good. This is usually a good sign when you start
like
hearing this.
almost overripe.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
I'd like to have some fig Newtons that tasted like this.
That's the ultimate fig Newton.
Right.
I like fig Newtons. It seems like old person cookies, but I like them. And I don't consider myself old, even though I am, but
You are.
I like fig Newtons. So maybe I just have to accept it, and then I can buy all the fig Newtons I want.
Here's the tricky part.
All right, let's give it a taste. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there too.
Mhm.
So yeah. I mean, sweet.
Well,
I
the
can get
higher
some,
proof,
some
that's-
taste.
Oh, that's good.
That's
Yeah,
really
the
good.
higher proof, that's the easier drinker.
It's an easy drinker for sure.
Oh, yeah. Incredibly smooth for that high of a proof,
Mhm.
but spicy too.
Spicy.
Even on the lips. I get spice on the lips on
Spice
that
on the
one.
lips, yeah. I think it might have some great bubble yum in there too, by the way. It's gonna come. It's there. Scott, just you gotta drink, take another drink. It's there. I don't know what happened to Scott. He left on that.
Fell off the porch.
Mm-hmm.
He's breaking the seal.
Oh, it's always a bad call this early on. All right. Let's
This will
talk
be an
about
expensive night.
let's talk about taste on this one. Randy, I'm going to start right in the center of my screen, center square. You're the Paul Lind of this show because you're in the center square. What do you get taste wise on this one?
I can see the chocolate coming through on the taste.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm getting that chocolate I got on the nose for sure. Mm-hmm. Along with a bunch of other stuff. There's some of the leather in there too. I mean, it's good. Good. Casey, how about you? My other center square.
Yeah, so I am, I have to do my Paul Lind impression. Is that what it is?
Yes. Yeah. Paul Lind.
It's like, I can make
It
a
was
hat,
great
I
back
can
in
make
the
a
day.
brooch, I can make a pterodactyl. So yes, the chocolate malt is coming through. Still more of that kind of Australian Christmas pudding with like the dark fruits and the brandy. The alcohol went straight into my nose, so that took me a little minute to clear that out.
Sure.
But no,
But
I
you're
mean,
you're a non-proof guy. You're 90
yeah,
proof
well,
guy.
that's
This is
why,
a
because it just goes straight
right.
into my nostrils.
This
and
is
I
a
feel like
solid
I'm
40
inhaling
plus
fire.
proof. 40 plus proof over what you're used to drinking.
Yeah.
And your thoughts on this? Is this
I mean,
one you would
but
drink?
It's I'd have to work on a technique to like not destroy my face, but it's pretty good.
Pretty good. Okay. I think that's good. All right.
When you figure out that technique, Casey, would you please let me know?
I will. I think it's going to have to do with like circular breathing or something like that.
Okay. All right. Joey, how about you?
I'm still with the dark fruits, leather. I don't get any chocolate on this one, which is
No
surprising
chocolate.
because not for me, but the dark fruit,
Dark fruit. Okay.
big dates. I think it's delicious.
I think that's there too. I'm definitely getting that as well. So I'm there with you. Fred, how about you?
Yeah, the mouth feels incredible, and
Mhm.
I'm getting the malted milk balls kind of thing, that malted kind of thing, and the spice is still there. Spice
Yeah.
is just this is the best. Mhm.
This is really
Yeah,
good.
it's really well balanced too. That's what's nice about it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right.
For
We'll
that
go.
high of a proof, it's just
Yeah. Yeah. That's hard to believe.
Mhm.
This is from that little craft distiller, Heaven Hill, in USA Today's top 10 for craft distillers. That's ridiculous. They're not a craft distiller by any definition. There's no definition where you could say, yeah, they're just a craft distiller. No way. They're huge. Matter of fact,
Their
they have
one
the biggest.
still downtown is crafty.
Yeah, but that's not even what they're counting. I thought that was the catch, that they were going to say that, and they didn't. And of course, their Bernheim distillery has the largest distillery capacity in the world for a bourbon distillery. It's crazy. I don't know who did this. And then, of course, I was like, oh, when I read it, and they were like, oh yeah, they make a variety of products, including a 40-year-old Henry McKenna. 40 years old? There's no 40-year-old bourbon in the world. There's nothing left in that 40 years in our climate.
No way, man.
No. So that tells me they need to hire someone ding, 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 to be their experience writer. Yeah, so we'll see. All right, we'll go to Kathy and Scott here. We'll have you guys weigh in on the taste before we add the water and we talk about that one.
Well, I'm with Casey when it comes to proof. This one is, whew, it's a sinus opener. I can imagine a lot of the things you guys are talking about, like the chocolate malt and the plums. But if I drank very much of this, work would be an issue in the morning. So
It'd be a calling day.
yeah,
You just signed up. Yeah, you didn't sign up because you like high proof. Yeah, you signed up because you like this instructor that you thought that was going to be teaching this.
It was science.
I'm sorry. Yes.
No, we're still doing science.
I would swear that was on there at some point in time.
That was never on there. It was not. You can ask Leah yourself. Feel free to reach out to Leah. She's out there Niskanen on Facebook, or she's on Instagram too, I believe. So you can ask her.
I don't know what either of those things are, Steve.
She's our educational instructor.
No, he doesn't know Instagram or Facebook. He knows Leah.
Yeah.
I know Leah.
Oh,
She's
gotcha.
Bill's son, and Bill is a genius.
So you know Bill. You read some of his books or something. So her father is a famous economist, which is interesting. So yeah.
Well, I know no politics while we're recording, but yeah, he was instrumental in developing public choice theory and the hypothesis beside it. Anyway,
yeah,
I'm putting KK to sleep with my
taste wise on this.
Yeah, taste
delicious, Steve, delicious.
All right,
I think it's his favorite.
This is his favorite. Okay. All right. We're going to put this aside for just a second because we're going to introduce water.
Two Elijah Craig stories
into this one now. And we're going to see what impact this has.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, that's so good.
Okay. I'll try that. I know this one.
Right.
No.
Swirl that around a little bit. Get that going. All right.
While you're swirling, I will mention that I appreciate Casey's adolescent palate. But clearly it's New Zealand Christmas pudding and not the Australian Christmas pudding.
Okay, well, we're gonna have words because my wife's Australian, so she's got a lock on that particular.
Well, I lost my accent, but I'm New Zealand, so
Okay.
I was kidding. Totally
Your accent. Okay. All right, let's talk about this one on the nose.
I get more chocolate on the nose on this one than on the barrel strength.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it hurt the nose quite like the others. It's not as dulled down.
Yeah.
Still pretty sharp.
Yeah.
I can drink this one.
It's definitely different though. I mean, if you've done the thing where you split them like I did, it's different, but yeah, still good though. The other ones, it dulled it way down, I felt, and this one not as much. But let's see the impact on the taste. Let's taste, and then we'll get the other half of the group to weigh in. And anybody can weigh in too, though, of course.
This did not go straight through my sinuses.
Okay.
So apparently my proof limit is 129.8.
Okay, 129.8 is what you can do. Right? Now you know. Don't get into the 130s. That's
science.
Too much. Too much. Yeah, science. I'll be giving Leah a run for her money soon on the science with this after this one. That's good. Let's talk taste and flavor profile. Paul, we'll start with you. Anything that that you want to note on this that you feel is different?
This is the first one that doesn't really change it too much for me. Well, I still get a lot of that like brown sugar cocoa, and I get people were saying like stone fruit or dark fruits. I get black cherry, like predominant black cherry flavors. Yeah, on both of them. I think it's more predominant on the barrel proof, but I could pick it up and with a few drops of water. It doesn't really change a whole lot for me. So kind of confused.
Yeah. This one is still good, but you know, the higher up it gets, I would assume the less you're taking away. So, I mean, it's still, you know, at the 129 proof or whatever it's dropped it down to based on our, Paul's calculation. It's still pretty high. I mean, it's not like it's dropping it down to where it's, low. All right, let's jump in. Let's check in with the Robinsons. We'll start with Melanie. Melanie, what are your thoughts taste wise on this one?
I think it was hotter to me, and it felt like a rough finish in comparison to a smooth finish. The barrel strength I felt like had a smooth finish, kind of powdery cocoa.
Yeah.
This one is just hotter, and it's a rough finish.
Yeah. And now it kind of stays with me at the center of the tongue, it kind of center of the palate too, in the finish. So that's interesting. Neil, how about you?
I'm kind of the same way. I get but this it's a little bit more buttery to me than
That can be a good thing.
The other one. Yeah.
That can be good. All right. Well, Sally's there. Good. I always worried on these high proof ones. You could always lose someone. You know, we've done that on our podcast before. We lost McNew a couple times, though she finished from the floor. She just yelled up to the microphone. All right, Sally, what are your thoughts here on the one with the water introduced? What are your thoughts on the taste on that one?
We split ours in half, and then I put 2 drops of water in, and it didn't change it that much for me. So I got a tiny ice chip to see what the cold would do to it.
Okay.
I think that's a little better. I can now taste something other than, and I mean this in the best possible nostalgic way, but it's like a sweaty horse that just got back to the barn. It smells sweet, and it's good, and it's warm, and it's comforting. But with the high proof, I couldn't taste any fruit or chocolate or anything else.
You get it. You'll build up to that. When we'll do these events like a year from now, you'll be all high proof stuff. That's what happens to us when the more we get into this. I think our proof level keeps going up and up and up. So it just seems to me, but we'll see. All right, Brad, how about you?
Specifically to the water added one?
Yes, the water added one. Yes.
Okay. I'm a Elijah Craig diehard, so the water did nothing for me. No, not a fan.
Okay, not a fan.
It muted it for what I like Elijah Craig barrel proof for.
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing with you. I don't think it did anything positive.
With that said, B521 I like, even though it's lower proof, I still like it. So
yeah.
Which one?
B521.
Oh, B, bravo. Okay. I just said E. I'm like, oh, I've not seen an E.
Well,
there's a unicorn.
Right.
Mr. Bill, how about you?
I prefer are we voting or just?
No, just tasting notes now. You're the last one though, before we go to the vote.
It was good.
Wow. That's a bad review from Bill. When it's good, that's on the verge of being terrible. So.
No, it's good.
It's like I really like that one. That's really good. Those are good Mr. Bill things. So
I heard the same tone that you heard, Steve. I heard.
Was this with water, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It was good.
Wow. Ouch. Yeah. Imagine if we did one of these high proof tastings and there was 8 samples in here that we had to go through. This would be a zoo by the end of it.
Oh, hey,
we're having a rough time after 3. I've noticed. I'm like, come on, right here, attention. All right, it is now, as Jeff Probst says on Survivor, time to vote. All right, Justine, for ease of me here, we're going to start with you. That way, you're first one on my screen. What did you like better here, the barrel or the water?
I'm kind of a little indifferent on this one.
Okay, so you're going to go the no change. You're going to go down to indifferent. All right, Mr. Bill.
I absolutely prefer the barrel strength.
Barrel. Okay.
I loved it.
Loved it. Okay. All right. Scott.
I would take either, Steve.
So we're going to put you down same as Justine.
I'm in Justine's camp.
They're the same. They're the same. Okay. Kathy.
The watered down one.
Water. Okay. This is getting interesting.
Yeah, this is 3 drops of water.
Yeah.
This is interesting. All right, Randy, how about you?
I don't think you should water down the flavor, so I'll go with the barrel proof.
Barrel. Okay. All right. Now we'll go over to Sally. I think I know the answer here, but I still have to ask Sally. So don't get offended.
Yes, I vote for ice chip.
Okay, ice chip. All right. And Brad, how about you?
Barrel proof.
Barrel. Okay. Fred.
Barrel for sure. Like Bill said, I loved it.
Okay. Yeah. All right, Casey, he's a swing vote here because he clearly is in the low proof. So
Yeah,
you would think he
well,
went water, but what do you
yeah,
think?
I mean, I think that if high proof, I could handle high proof, I would probably go high proof. I'm gonna go indifferent for this one.
Okay. All right. Next up is Melanie.
I like the watered down if it has a lot of water in it. If it only has a drop or two, I prefer the barrel strength.
Okay, that's a tough one to judge.
Barrel strength.
You can put as much water as you want. So you want to be in the water camp, or do you
Yes.
want to be in the barrel? Okay.
I'll be in the water. I'll be in the water group.
Yeah, you're not limited to put. You can put as much as you want. It's your bourbon. So
As long as you can swim.
yeah. Neil, how about you?
With just a couple drops of water, it made it a little bit easier to drink, but it also took away some of the flavor. So I prefer the barrel strength.
Barrel strength. Okay. All right. This is a close one. This could come down to the wire here. Joey, what do you think?
I like them both.
So you're gonna
Either.
go in the same. Okay. All right. Yes, this is a very tight race here. Paul.
Yeah, going back and forth after I spoke before, the barrel strength, just the flavors just pop. I mean, the water, just the 2 drops of water muted them enough where I definitely choose the barrel strength.
Okay. Barrel strength. I'm gonna fall in line with Mr. Bill and Fred and say I loved the barrel strength, and I didn't love the water. It was still good. And believe me, if someone was serving that and they're like, "Here's what it tastes like," they already had the one. It's fine. It's good bourbon. But that barrel strength was something special, meaning it has outlasted the water and the same. So this one was close though. 7 for barrel, 3 for water, 4 for same. So the total of all, let's see, 6, 9, you got 10, 20. Our total votes tonight were 28 for barrel proof, 9 for water, and 4 for no change. So clearly, if our science part of this, we prefer, at least this group, that doesn't mean it's the right answer, but this group certainly prefers the barrel strength. How about that?
I have a question for the group.
Yes.
Previously, I would often like my bourbon with an ice cube in it, but this is such a significant difference with water. But I do like sometimes to have my bourbon chilled. Has anybody tried like the stones, the chilled stones that just keep it cold, but there's no dilution involved?
I don't like those.
I have
personally.
not because
Yeah.
I was going to get some, and my friend goes, "You're going to chip your teeth if you get that."
Right. It seems like, yeah, it's weird to have those floating around.
I
in there,
mean,
right?
I'd rather go with a chilled glass, which is something I personally haven't tried.
What about putting the bottle in the fridge?
That could work as well.
Well, we're not in college, and this isn't Jägermeister, by the way.
Well, to me,
I like my
this-
wine cellar, put it down in a wine cellar.
Wine cellar, okay.
To me, this really makes it more interesting to think about how they proof down. You know, how do
Yeah.
they proof down these really? You know, what is the stuff, the proof down stuff tastes like when it's before it's been proofed down?
Right.
You know, what does a 90 proof taste like when it's still 130-ish proof? How do they make that not suck?
Yeah.
Because we can't seem to do it with some really good high proof liquors here.
Right. Yeah.
And very special water.
Yes.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is tech.
This is you get to keep this. No, actually, you guys have to mail these back into me now. So no, you get to keep that. So yes,
You might get tap water back.
yeah.
Right.
I would definitely keep it filled with the old limestone. I think that's the way to go. I do think if you are going to use the water, I would do that. Back to Melanie's point, though, in the summertime, I'm like anybody else. When it's 98 degrees out there, I'm not out there drinking Elijah Craig at 130 something proof. It's just too hot, and I don't even mind at that point a lower proof. Even sub 100 with an ice globe in it. I mean, if it's that hot, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop an ice globe in there, and if it dilutes it down a little bit, that's okay. But in terms of just generally sipping, I like the barrel strength is what I like.
Oh, that's mine.
I've
Oh,
gifted it to you.
woohoo! Yes.
got lucky. You got lucky there. All right. Well, this ends the official portion of the show. I do want to give it one shout out here because I know he's going to be watching this online. Jim Barubi was signed up for this event. He's in Louisiana. Power out, storm damage, all that stuff. He's okay. Family's good. So he's happy. He's fine. But won't have power. He has no idea when he's getting it back. He did say he would watch this when it came back. So just want to say hello to him, give him a shout out. And good luck to you and your family, Jim. And hopefully you're good. And we're thinking about you. And with that, we'll say goodbye to our audience that's watching this at home. There may be a couple other ones too. And thanks for attending tonight's event.
Cheers.